Grey Horn Pagans podcast. Here we discuss all matters paganism, heathenism, witchcraft, history, and mythology. Leave a like, leave something nice in the comments, share this with everyone, and enjoy yourselves on this amazing episode of the Grey Horn Pagans podcast.
So talked some good shit already. So welcome everyone to the Grey Horn Pagans podcast. It is good to be back. It is good to be recording again today with my guest Brandon Angel, who I have met through the Unchained Church, really, like that whole crowd. Yeah, thanks for coming on, man, and thanks for letting me reschedule for a day later. I wasn't sure if I could make it yesterday with all the private stuff going on.
We'll talk about that later. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, luckily that all seems to be resolved now.
Excellent.
So that is a huge weight of my shoulders, huge weight of my back. So, but yeah, introduce yourself, man. Like, who are you? What do you do? What are you about?
Okay, so my name is Brandon Angel. I work with nutritional diversity, a study in Panama, Colombia, Costa Rica, Central and South America, focusing on diverse alternative agriculture and wild nature and sports and nutrition. I have Brandon Angel Fitness as well.com or on Instagram, and that's just hardcore fitness stuff. So I love the hardcore fitness stuff. I love jiu-jitsu. I love boxing. I just love the spiritual vibration that comes through all the physical practices. So being able to work in nature and do sports is really a blessing.
The Grey Horn Pagans podcast is proudly sponsored by Shop Reclaim Repurpose and their Hnefatafel set. That is Viking chess, a centuries-old 2-player strategy game that is easy to learn but rich with complexity. The defending player aims to escape the corner with their king, while the attacking player aims to capture the king. Hnefatafel is about outwitting your opponent and making strategic decisions based on the board's ever-changing conditions. This portable version of Hnefatafel, or Tafel for short, is perfect for history buffs, Viking enthusiasts, or anyone looking for a unique and challenging board game that can be taken on the go. Perfect for the upcoming holidays, of course. And with my code seen on screen now, which will also be in the description box down below, of course, you can get 10% off your purchase on one or more, of course, Tafel sets. Simply go to his website, shopreclaimrepurpose.etsy.com. Use coupon SteinfoxTafel for 10% off your entire purchase. Again, coupon code SteinfoxTafel, or go to the link shown on screen for 10% off. Thank you so much for Shop Reclaim Repurpose for sponsoring us. It means the world. Now let's get back into the show.
No, that is the fucking dream, man. Just to be out in nature all day, and then in the gym, in the ring, on the mats.
I'm in the foot of the Volcan Baru, a volcano named Baru in the northern side of Panama province called Chiriquí. We have some horses, some cows, some velociraptors out here with us today. You'll hear them in the background. And we actually do an interesting, you could call, a lot of people call it pagan farming. I think Rudolf Steiner drew a lot of his formulas from certain pagan knowledge bases that he had. And I'm a practitioner of biodynamic agriculture, which was started by Rudolf Steiner, who gave a 7-lecture series, I'm pretty sure intending to give the foundation and hoping that we would roll with it and continue to take it into higher stages of the game, which I think we have done. And I do definitely think there's much more to do there too. So,
Yeah, no, that's awesome, man. That you're able to do that. Like so many people, like want to live more self-sufficient, more self-sustainably, but not everyone gets that chance. And it's funny that you right away mentioned pagan.
I'm actually kind of moving away from such a sustainable concentration, but more of a natural concentration, right? So like some of the sustainable movement has been contaminated, or let's just say the sustainable agenda always gets hijacked, right? And there's all these different ways of becoming sustainable and this and that. No, well, what I like the idea of now is like a harmonious with nature operation. And if you look at it, humans have the best potential to be harmonious with nature. With our intelligence, we can really click in the way no animal does as far as a natural harmony. And so it's interesting that we're so far away from that now. But all I can see is the potential for us to click in.
I think you're absolutely right in that. I haven't even thought of it like that before, but we are or we think we are at least the most intelligent species on this planet, at least the most dominant one. And you okay? Sorry, my cat's my kitty co-host.
No, man, we have to make room for the animals.
Oh yeah, for sure. He'll make sure there's room for him. You know, he'll kick me off my chair if he could.
I heard that. I heard it. He's like, yeah, no, don't worry. Well, I'll make my room.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I mean, he's a rat cat. He's feisty. He's furious. But he's a good boy.
Yeah, you have to love cats because they lovably do what they want. You know.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely the difference. I've heard many people say that dogs have owners, cats have butlers.
There you go.
And that's absolutely that's absolutely true. If I if I look at this big red fella, I can ask him whatever. I can ask of him whatever. It's like I'll do it when I feel like it.
Those are useful expressions for us to take on in certain situations.
Yeah. No, but I love what you say about the sustainable movement, because that seems to be. I mean, there's a vast difference, of course, between those things like sustainable living. It's going into all the UN agendas right away, and like they're.
So I'll start by saying that the UN has published me several times, even in their contribution to the Paris Agreement. And it's highly exploited, the sustainable word, movement, idea, and to force people to be sustainable is also a little bit of just a stupid endeavor. You know what I mean? You're not going to force anyone to do anything. But if you empower people with the idea that using nature and becoming harmoniously with nature will empower them, and then like I see the movement starting with athletes so much, probably because I'm around them so much, right? you think of what you see, but just because if I can deliver, the thing about a lot of what I have to talk about is there's no money in it for a lot of people, and there's a loss of money in it for a lot of people. Grocery store, modern agriculture, universities, right? So, but this is highly empowering in a non-monetary way. So athletes looking for physical performance enhancements that are not drugs can turn to right now supplements, which are excellent because our modern diet, this elementary school diet, right, that we're fed through academia, has nothing to do with a natural diet. No other animal eats that way, and no other primate, relative, anything, right? It's, we've now traced it all down through modern science, medical science, that these things are not the best way, right? And then I've taken people who are in that condition already and put them on the complete natural way that you simply can get from observing that in nature. And then all those problems go away, and athletic, mental, spiritual performance attributes increase across the board. So we know through scientific process, that is the right way.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, the food pyramids, I mean, we do have it here in the Netherlands as well. I'm not sure what they currently say you're supposed to be eating and the quantities, but it's all lobbying. It's funding, it's lobbying. So the biggest food groups on the pyramid are from those sides of the industrial agriculture, which is another whole other thing in of its own, who provide you with the most money. Fortunately enough, we do have some companies and institutions here who will call out.
I was going to say, hats off to the Netherlands farmers, because it's already, the thing is that even those farmers, because of generation and what they're doing now is ridiculous, but they saw the new stages of ridiculousness that these ridiculous control freaks are trying to roll in. And that's what I've been telling people too, is it's like the last two rollouts are 10 and 25 years old. So what we're looking at, what that discussion we just had about this thing suffering, our people are suffering now, well, just wait, because a lot of this stuff takes 10 to 20 years to come in. So it's going to be worse. And then now the methods and ridiculous, insane ideas that are coming into play now, man, they cast such a shadow on these ideas that we've been using now. And to me, it's like, man, whatever the evil forces of, whatever these get, first of all, their systems aren't efficient whatsoever. So they're completely what do you say? Hypocrite.
Yeah,
they're Hippocratic. You know what I mean? Hypocrite.
I get what you mean.
Right away, because they completely undermine any idea of sustainability whatsoever. Here in the tropics, it becomes very clear, I'm sure in the Netherlands as well, that wherever there is a modern agriculture, a monoculture installation, that's actually affecting miles of nature all around it, right? And so only through man-created circles and squares, right, that you can see from the airplane, do we have complete imbalance of nature, complete suffering of non-sustainability in the natural world, only in those places.
Yeah, here in the Netherlands, it's the government trying to fix their rulings and their like laws and regulations that they implemented in the
I'm always
in the
thinking
70s, I believe. That's when they started focusing more on monoculture because of efficiency, I guess. If everyone grows one thing,
on monoculture.
Sorry?
Actually, they've been focused on monoculture. Only the small farmer is doing anything diverse. And then they're probably still using the purchased agricultural chemicals. But I'm always in this conversation thinking of the Buckminster Fuller quote, where he's saying system has to be replaced, not reformed from the inside. So the monoculture concept, it should just be abandoned. We should just abandon this And through our own demand and education, our new education from maybe something like this podcast, oh, wait, okay, yeah, we can get wild nutrition right now. It's completely free. All we have to do is study, right? Or field test, right? Which is just taking a small piece of it, rubbing it on your wrist, and then putting it inside your lip, and then maybe a little bigger piece, and then maybe a little bigger piece, and, take your time, go slow, and then swallowing some, right? And then seeing because everything out there is both a toxin and a remedy. It's the dose that decides. So you just figure it, and then when you get your diversity big enough, the toxic effects of anything get nullified more so, and your performance effects, the digestive effects, the uptake of nutrient enhances. So we're clearly supposed to eat this way. And I mean, just think about it. If we didn't come from spaceship with spear and fire, which we probably did, but if the evolutionary description is correct, we ate a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, because there was no bowl of rice. That would have came after, right? And I still do say that meat production is going to want to be your ultimate goal, your excellent goal. And meat as a food is going to be good. And also attention to animal ecological enhancement overall, to include animals. The Native American, I'm from the land of enchantment, New Mexico. All right. So we're big Native Americans, and rumors are that crossing our Rio Grande River or a river in Mississippi, you would not be able to cross that river without being pelted with fish. That squirrels could run up in the tree branches across 100 miles and never have to touch the ground, So those are not our realities of today. And then the other lesser known thing in that observation would be produced by Paul Stamens' mycelium running, right? That there's a communicative thing going on inside of the soils, right? That roads and all these different heavy-duty industry installations are cutting off that communication.
No, especially with the mushrooms and the trees, the mycelium, there is just this whole communication network underground. Like they truly, communicate with each other. You could even say like Lord of the Rings style, that
totally,
like
or Avatar. It's come out in a lot of movies. Actually, a lot of movies have pointed it out, like a neural network in the earth in all these different various ways, and it turns out that's really true.
Yeah, no, it absolutely is, and it seems to be growing in understanding. The understanding seems to be growing that we can't really go on like this. I know a herbalist. She has her own like what is it, like kind of it's a mushroom coffee replacement. So like instead of coffee with high doses of caffeine, like she does all kinds of different mushroom brews and tinctures and
that's
and
good.
all of that.
That's good. I don't know that coffee is the best one of those. To be honest, the tannic acid level is very high. It's a seed-based liquid. It's a seed-based liquid, like seeds better planted, right? The actual coffee fruit, even though it's so small, I'm actually right here. I'm an hour away from Boquete, which they say is even better than Colombia for coffee. I disagree with that, by the way. And I go to both regularly. But anyway, Boquete is a special mountain, and there's coffee farms, most of them monoculture. I've worked with several. It's really interesting. I could tell you a little bit here. I've worked with several of these farm owners. They realize the benefits of permaculture, of diverse agriculture. And there's also this thing called coffee rust, which a guy walks around in a backpack, and people don't realize, right, what a banana republic, coffee republic situation this still is, because the backpack guy gets totally deformed by this hardcore chemical he's spraying with this gas motor power thing, right? There's a Caldera River right here, 40 minutes from where I'm sitting. This Caldera River, beautiful rushing river, should be pelting you with fish as you walk across it. Zero fish, zero. And that's because of the backpack guy. That is a toxic avenger. that makes $11 a day spraying this stuff, right? That is
A day.
the worst end of poverty, right? Gandhi says the worst violence on the world is poverty. And in these cases, becomes very clear this is a removal of education. So if I can remove you from eating from nature and get you to eat from the grocery store, the centrally distributed, right? We're starting to see like a pattern recognition going on here. It's a control recognition. You could call it a witchcraft. It really is a witchcraft. In fact, in my journey, I realized that parental alienators, which, well, we're going to skip this, but if people want to look it up, they do the worst child abuse. The child abuse that has the worst effects on the kids. So the worst effects on the kid, the worst child is parental, is exact control freak, metaphysical dynamic that these people are using in monoculture, are using in city formation. City from a space shuttle mirrors the exact structure pattern of cancer in a microscope. So, right, is the worst water structure coming from water city structure, and everybody knows this now, but, originally Dr. Masaru Emoto found those brilliant structure patterns in water.
Yeah.
So all of this has to do with like behavior patterns, structure pattern, set of activities, right? And digestion, compost, all those two activities of breakdown and assimilation and food use of nutrients, right? We can see that, and that these even produce heat. So there's all kinds of stuff coming from organic chemistry or natural field work, however which way you want to call it, that really gives us the solution both spiritually, mentally, and physically with our relationship with nature and how we can build now. And like back to the replace and not reform. So and I have a challenge for you, a pagan challenge for you, right? So if we go and for everyone watching this, and I'm definitely trying to practice being a better orator and getting into this technological delivery, right? And trying to make that as much more synchronistic to the natural process as possible. So if we all go out and we make video content about doing this, and and it all links back to someone else doing it or some central place. I don't know if that's nutritionaldiversity.com. Anyways, we all go out and pick a piece of land. We don't need to own it. You know what I mean? No man created it. We're paying attention to this higher interaction with a higher natural intelligence has lasted way longer than humanity here. So we, open our hearts, we open our minds, and we just go to this piece of land out some secret spot that we can find. I would even say the least access, the best, maybe even, a good 20 minutes off the trail, whatever you want to use. Natural markings or your GPS or whatever, you should use both, I think. And then get established at just one spot. Start yourself a compost. That's activity one, right? So you go out there, you have a machete, you take some things from the jungle or from the forest or wherever you're at, and you start a stack, right? And then each week you go out there and you pray and you ask and you meditate and you do your burpees and you make a session out of this, and then you stack some more. And this is very, very simple. You don't need to import anything. You know what I mean? You don't need to do nothing, right? And then you stack some more. After time, you will have so many downloads. I'm telling you, like a classroom professor will no longer be entertaining. It will no longer be able to keep your attention, right? So all you ADHD kids that can't pay attention to school, you're probably just ahead of the game. But, literally, you'll be like, wow, there's a fountain of information coming from this natural time in nature, who would ever thought, right? That's why I say, but you definitely want to dedicate yourself to that purpose and have that intention and be open, metaphysically open yourself up, intentionally open yourself up. I've learned from life, intentions are everything, man. They really, really are. You know what I mean? And I make sure all my intentions are good all the time, because if the road to hell is paved with bad intentions or good intentions, then what's the hell the road paved with bad intentions is really, really off at that point, right? So we're all good intentions. I think honestly the dynamic natural mother and father, they will understand that we make mistakes, but our intentions were always good. I'll do that for my friend. I know if he does something wrong, but his intentions were good. I know that. I telepathically know that, right? You know what I mean? These things kind of resonate with us. Just like the Cleve-Baxter tests of the 1960s, which found out that plants were not just didn't not just have a nervous system, but also were telepathic. So look those up. Cleve-Baxter plant tests of the 1960s. And anything that's going to bring you closer to nature seems to be, I never would have thought that there would be so much disinformation in natural sciences that are just clearly edits and disinformation, just people shitting on the truth because it doesn't mix with their agenda. And that's what I mean. When it comes to the natural agenda, please factor those things in. There's not a big profitability. In fact, there's a huge loss of profitability should we become a more natural, knowledgeable man.
Yeah, but what is money if it's, about your health? If you feel
the real wealth.
If you feel better, if your body is healthier, I mean, we are spiritual beings, but we still inhabit this physical body. So, we have to take care of it. It is what it is.
Well, I mean,
we're not gonna escape it just yet. I mean, we're in the process, of course, but it's a long freaking process. That's generations of doing the work. So, physical body, like I said, we still have to take care of it. And money, unfortunately for a lot of people, it is still an issue. I know for the longest time, at least, it's also starting to, I mean, everything is getting expensive, really. Shrinkflation is a real fucking thing. You get less and you pay more. It's like, but like for the longest time, it was much easier to get like just a $2 hamburger menu at or $2 cheeseburger menu at the Burger King. I know I have had plenty of those when I was like in my 20s, when I still had had the metabolism for it. I'm turning 33 in at time of recording 13 days. I'm still blessed with a good metabolism, but it's nothing like it was in my 20s.
Right.
But it was a whole meal. Like, it was. You had a cheeseburger, medium fries, and like a small drink for €2 at the Burger King. Like, there ain't no way that at any supermarket or wherever I can get what was a meal for me for €2.
But in your pagan challenge, you could.
I mean, I wasn't as awakened then as
no, but
as
I mean,
I am now.
Your little piece of land, the little piece of land where that I challenge, the little space that you go to, right?
I have been wanting that for a long time. I know that at my previous place of residence in the city, I moved out to a smaller town. I do notice a huge difference, I must say. The city is so busy, it's so chaotic. It's the hustle and bustle of big city life, it's so over romanticized. But for someone who already has issues with like sensory overload, living in the city is a fucking nightmare. So I'm very happy that I moved back to the town that I live in now, because smaller town, it's like right in between, right next to all the flower fields, pretty damn close to the ocean. So quite literally, the whole atmosphere is different here. But I know that in the city, they had these small city gardens, which you could like buy or rent or something for a certain amount per year, I believe.
That's such a good idea.
And then you could like pretty much do whatever, grow vegetables, have a like a little, I don't know, like a little man cave on there, or for your wife a she shack.
Could be a solution to homelessness too, right? You could get the homeless people together and can start getting them involved with the community gardening type function, maybe. I mean, I've seen a few of those. It's unfortunate, man. Most of the states, not even here in Central and South America, will you see too much of that. In Costa Rica, you'll see it. But that's about the only place I've really seen that. It's such a good idea.
That would be a great idea, actually, because I see them a lot, unfortunately, especially when I go to jiu-jitsu. I have to travel through my hometown still, and especially at the central station, the train station, a lot of homeless people walking around there, and it's been the same faces, the same guys for quite literally 10 plus years, and a lot of them, I think that's also quite a problem. They lack purpose. They don't have anything to do. They don't have a place to stay, so they quite literally wander around aimless, just begging people for money so they can, well, in their words, sleep for the night.
Crashing out in greenhouses have been some of the best sleeps I've ever had.
Oh, I bet.
and working with nature heals mental trauma, man.
Yeah.
Like I can also be a testimony there.
Yeah. No. Oh, I think that's. I never even
wrote
thought
an
of it that
article
way.
actually. I wrote an article about, and I've included this page in some proposals to governments. It's really, I really want to do some large scale, I've worked with the small installations, but this really can address the large scale homeless issue. If we just took the war force, everybody who's fighting in wars, and contributed that manpower and that finance to ecological enhancements and alternative agricultural experiments and all that kind of thing, man. First of all, we probably would shut the climate change nuts up forever, and then the food crisis, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And forget about that the war and the big stand-up was over nitrate cutoff, right? Like a agricultural chemical cutoff. Well, in our system, and nature's system, rather, excuse me, that's not necessary. Those aren't even necessary at all. So it's like, after a minute, what are we doing? Why haven't we already started this? Even, and it was like, someone was showing me these Elon Musk clips earlier. It's just like, he needs us if he's going to colonize Mars. You know what I mean? You need the natural functioning, you need people who work with the actual system, not all these other lessers that allow you to monopolize, you know what I mean? Because that's
you need
really
farmers, not scientists.
Yeah, totally. But like I said, even the farmers, hats off to you guys, because you're the real rebels. But even the guys that stood up over agriculture chemicals, how about you stand up and just walk away from that whole thing? You know what I mean? And start to do what we're doing is take from nature's page. And there's a lot of underground movements. I don't know why any of this hasn't caught on. I don't know. I feel the screams from above myself to like do the reps and really put together excellent presentation of this.
It is catching on. I know that at least here in the Netherlands, our farmers are they're broken down, beaten down, farms bought up at like a overprice, so more than the farm is worth, or worth, monetary estimations, again, the money. But, and, some farmers, they did unfortunately cave, but I know that the what is it, like the Farmers Front, Farmers United, something like that, farmer activist group, if you will, they are still a thing, and they are still fighting, and there are multiple groups fighting for the same things. I mean, each in their own territory. The people who know about legal stuff, they fight it on the legal front. The farmers, they fight it in the ways
I
that
wonder
they know, but it's very, very heavily suppressed, of course. You know, if you're gonna, especially in the news, like if you're gonna publicize it, if you're gonna like openly publicize, like, hey, you know, they did another thing and they did that, then people are, you know, they're smart and they're starting to smart up, and it's like, hey, like they keep doing this, like what are they actually about? You know, let's just go to a demonstration once, not even to like fight with them, but just to talk with them. And then you hear it from their side, you know, from the, you know, the side who are actually hit the hardest. And so the underground stuff, it is working. It is absolutely working, but it's at the same time, it is heavily suppressed and just not talked about.
That's why I want to, you know, this nutritionaldiversity.com program is really helping the individual just go out to nature and start to do something, because I don't think the legal people or the government people are going to be able to do anything about the individual going out by himself, just him and his family, maybe a few friends, right? And taking a piece of land and adding species to it and doing compost and making black dirt and enhancing growth and taking homemade organic fertilizers out there and eventually, you know, maybe even leaving some food for the wildlife that comes in or whatever, right? You know, making specific strategic installations of plant species for them. I should have said that better. And then, or making nice facilities such as, you know, a place where water collects near a place where you have given an all-natural fertilizer and compost soil to what already grows there. You know, you don't need to import anything that you can eat as well, because you've already tested for that 7 things. And then you go out and you start to subsidize your diet at least a little bit, and you've made something, you know, more plentiful, you know, an action that spawns a lot of reaction in that cultivational direction, right?
Yeah.
And as we spend our time there, it works. It does. It happens, you know, and slowly but surely, if you and 4 other families are going out and you're doing this, and now you're eating a nutrition that no one else is even eating, but it's been right in front of all of our faces, and you're making a new thing here called jungle juice, and everybody's all, you know, I'm always moving around, but everybody's always asking me for this stuff, and you know, so I'm taking 10 jungle plants that I know that they don't know, and I just blend it up, and I'll put some mangoes in there for flavor or whatever, you know, I'll make it nice. Sure. And then I'll have a frozen 2-gallon thing, right? Just like a 2-gallon water thing, and I'll just freeze it. That's the best way to keep these, and because I make my harvest, I get the leaf right off the plant. That photosynthetic process is still there. The chlorophyll list of chemicals is still there. When those chemicals dissipate within 5 to 10 minutes of you disconnecting it from the plant. So I just do my harvest. I high pressure sprayer off all the stuff. I blend it up in 1 blender pitcher or 2 blender pitchers worth. I fill the thing. I freeze it right away. That jungle juice container for me is worth $50. I'll sell it to somebody for 50. Maybe I give it a deal for $20 even. But okay, you know, whatever. I'm participating in the health of other people, and I tell you, guys who get these things, they get 10 at a time, and or 20, and and they'll drink it all day, and they'll all say they feel better when they have 2 full glasses of this stuff per day. Really, after 8 days of doing something like this, the results are undeniable. But let me see you do it. You're right. It's such a valuable process, right? So that's my pagan challenge for everybody watching this, is to start getting out there and learning what's around you. You don't have to cultivate anything, you know. It's cultivated for you. And if you just start to subsidize your diet and help your community subsidize their diet, then as you guys are sharing that drink, you're going to be exchanging also the idea, the concept that they can go do this too, and study 10 species that you knew, bring that back to the table. Don't tell them what you already know. Go find yourself, study something, bring that back to now. You can just trade And now you guys are each consuming 20 new species of living biological love food, right? Directly from God, and that you may be enhanced with the compost, and that's step one on the nutrition side, right? And I think if you can get that stuff to an athlete, he's going to go tell 20 other athletes. And now you've got a small business. So I really think this individual family-based thing is kind of like the starting place for the revolution. And I get nothing from saying that, you know what I mean? Like I have no interest in anything in saying, like, I'm happy to just help people with no interest return, because not only do I realize about these more natural physical principles, but I realize the natural metaphysical principles. And me and Stitcher Fox were talking just before this about how the metaphysical benefits are right there.
Yeah.
Most important in all these physical things that we're doing, it's the metaphysical benefit half the time that we're after, and all the time that's just equal to or greater than the physical benefits.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, that's kind of where you come into the different layers of the body and the soul body and all of that. Like, it's the physical body, the mental, then the spiritual, and it all works in conjunction with each other. For, everyone watching and listening, just, think about it. If you eat like crap for, like even 2 days, like 2 days where you really haven't had your veggies, haven't had a good piece of fruit, and a lot of processed foods, you feel like shit.
Yeah.
And not just because it's bad for your body, but your head gets foggy, you can't think as clear, you're tired, and you don't. Yeah, I don't feel like doing anything. I don't feel like going to the gym. I'm lacking energy.
To have your best performances, you have to have your best nutrition.
Exactly. That it is so incredibly important. I do believe that a lot of the, I think even a lot of the, let's say, spiritual problems of our time can be resolved, or at least mitigated somewhat, with proper nutrition.
They work for me.
Get off your over sugary Starbucks drinks, but it's girly pop, it's the girly thing. Yeah. You know how much fucking sugar is in one of those drinks. I mean, I've seen the TikTok videos. It's barely coffee. It's a lot of sugar. It's a lot of sweetened milk. It's a shitload of ice, and like a splash of coffee, and then American coffee, which is so incredibly diluted and from such a bad quality that it's hardly even coffee.
And the backpack guy sprays it.
Yeah, that too. Oh, that still shocks me. Like 11 a day, and he's literally
also right here, Almirante in Bocas del Toro province of Panama. Almirante is in the area around the Bocas del Toro province is still one of the biggest banana republic zones as well. Jesus. And the same thing, man. They've actually, if you research it, they've had something called the Panama disease. They've had to change the banana species several different times, but that's even ridiculous to someone like me who's just like, dude, diverse, start growing this stuff naturally, have 500 other products, you know what I mean, as well as the bananas, and give people a full nutritional show without the disease. And if they knew that, if the corporate owners or whatever knew that, they would obviously start at least acre by acre doing some sort of conversions on the outskirts, you know what I mean, and starting to look at that as far as it.
That's the whole thing. Like we want, or keep asking, I should say, for corporate solutions, but as as we keep mentioning, they don't care about health. They don't really care about us. They don't care about us, as Michael Jackson has made very clear in his song. Great song, by the way.
That's a great reference, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, he definitely
like you keep saying, there is hardly any profit in it. There is no real money in it. So
No, if we all,
that's why all the bigger corporations are like, there's no profit in it. Next,
yeah,
no
no,
profit.
also,
Fuck off.
yeah, families, especially like if you think about this intergenerationally too, it's like, so if a family starts doing this little plot of land thing I'm talking about right now, in a few weeks, it might be unentertaining still. It might be hard to push yourself out there but you got to do it. And then because your grandkids are going to the Garden of Eden right there, that grandpa put over here, you know what I mean? And people have a lot of concerns as far as like, well, what if we don't own the land or whatever, someone decides to, I don't see how you can get really in trouble if you're not importing anything, if you're just facilitating the nature that's already there, even with like the parks rangers and stuff, and again, you're enhancing and figuring out how to enhance nature. And dude, if you guys go out and do that, if we do this and in 10 years from now, there's an EMP or whatever, and you could have all the Bitcoin stacked up in the world and bank accounts and all that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Man, in 10 years, just 10 years time, are you going to be happy? You just know where one of these places are. You know what I mean? And, because in the city, you're dead if the electric goes out. You know what I mean? You're gonna be the food for somebody.
Yeah, you're screwed. You're if that happens, especially in the bigger cities, like I'm thinking of my hometown, clean water is very hard to come by. The stocks of any supermarket near you is going to be robbed clean in a matter of days. So if you know where to get clean water, or at least how to get clean water, like just take water from whatever body of water is near you, and if you know how to properly filter it, and either you have a smaller piece of land with, even if it's just some veggies, even if it's just like, I don't know, 5 different veggies and a smaller fruit plant, like, then it's still going to be hard living, but at least you have something. And that is indeed what many people don't think about. Too many people still do not think about that. And what popped into my mind right away is like one of those gardens, even if it's, talking like the city gardens that, that I had in my former place of residence, that can turn into generational wealth.
Yeah.
Maybe not in money, but definitely in knowledge, in your own food source. If you have, I don't know, 2 chickens, 3 chickens, you got just so many eggs. And eggs are such a good source of protein. And
Totally.
Chickens are, they're the easiest and cheapest farm animal to maintain, to
Totally.
raise.
No, they're truly perfect starting place. And, they'll go to where their food is at. I think actually to I'm working on an experiment, right? Dude, I took chicken farming to the end, bro. I started raising crazy grubs, dude, and then hit them with the grubs once a week. And, we had this process where they were just, dude, I had these most beastiest chickens you've ever seen. They're already the species I got from another guy, he'd already generated through generation. And that's another thing you can make, but yeah, like having a hybrid little halfway feral chicken group, that is the perfect thing to start with out on one of those little pieces too. You know what I mean? And again, if you can get the chickens in that area, what can be said? What can really be said? And especially if you have really good I would just want to start people with a few things. Like if you had some really good composted soil there, and you had some really good greens coming from that, they will burn that area into their brain and always come back there and check.
Yeah.
Right. And if you have a compost operation going on, they will pick apart. So you will have to learn about how to let grow yourself some natural burial, right? Because in that super nutritious dirt comes super nutritious insect. So it'll be hard to keep it together for a little bit. But that's one of the, man, and the thing that you said about knowledge improving, that's dynamic. Because now I can find guys that are so smart that I used to be intimidated to try to have a conversation with. I'm no longer intimidated because now the cognitive raise that I have received from working with nature all of a sudden seems to put me in an echelon of communication ability where I'm able to, so almost immediately, and I would say likely those homeless guys you mentioned before that are really struggling as far as all the mechanics involved with life, man, you would be talking to some genius that can become well delivered, and the universal law of polarity can come out there, right? Where you've gone through the hardest, most detrimental stuff, and now you can become one of the most brightest angelic beings from overcoming, keyword, overcoming that and getting to that other side.
Yeah. No, that makes me think. I used to hang out in Amsterdam a lot. Of course, the Vondelpark, the biggest park there, and I remember one of my friends back then told me a story that one of the homeless guys who lives in the park, really, because where else is he gonna go? He used to be a Danish chess grandmaster. So this really like bright guy, really clever, and I mean, we all know how hard a game of chess can be.
Well,
But got into a nasty divorce, lost his kids, lost his house, hit the bottle, and now he's just wasting his life away in Vondelpark, Amsterdam. But like, imagine if someone like that, if we can give him purpose again, or or just any regular homeless, doesn't have to be a genius in a previous life, if you will. Like, I know at least one guy, he always comes up to me, he recognizes me, and there is no ignoring him. Like, he'll keep going.
Guys.
It's like, hey, it's like, fuck, head down, butt saying nope. Doesn't work. Okay. But he already has that persistency. Like, not a thinking of it now that I'm speaking it out loud. He already has the persistency. Like, if I want to talk to you, I'm gonna talk to you.
Dude, you should go show him this podcast. You should go show him this podcast and see what he does.
I mean, who knows? Who knows? I'm probably gonna have to pay him something afterwards, but that's fine. I'll ask for donations or something. I don't know, and make use of the platform that I have. But like, if we could, as a society, I should say, if we could turn that persistency into something that actually bears fruits, if not literally bears fruit, give that man a purpose again, give that man something to do, literally feed the homeless.
I was just gonna say, if you make your pagan challenge little spot in the woods and pay him to make another one. Now you're helping a homeless man and you're giving him purpose. Like, look, dude, if you go chop this and put it in a pile here, and you do this every week, you let me know when it's done, and I'll check and I'll give you $10. You know what I mean? Now you can get him to do another one. And here's another thing. So we can start sponsoring homeless people in like a seriously, because you're right. Like, sometimes you're touching on something excellent. Sometimes you just give somebody some free money, you make their situation worse. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so it's really hard to give away money and actually see a positive result. I've found, I was this big believer in always just, give something. I'm not going to walk by this guy with $200 in my pocket and not give him some freaking change, man. And you're not either. Like, if you're with me, like,
yeah.
But then again, and it's just like, what we're doing is just giving them another Band-Aid, right? But if we do give them that massive purpose, and we do just, look, man, you got to go. Tell, where are we going? Where are we going? I'll walk with you. You know what I mean? We go 5 minutes out of town or to this vacant area or whatever. You know what I mean? And
I have thought of doing something like that before.
Yeah,
Give
I want to
the man
that through an app. I want to motivate that. Like I have this, we are constructing an app on our coaching platform at nutritionaldiversity.com, right? And what I want to do is motivate. So once you sign into this thing, it has a personal profile, all this kinds of thing, and it starts helping you expand your diet, more diverse, more species. The lady will even call a permaculture farm near you and make the relationship for you. You know what I mean? Like we're really trying to do a good job with this. But what I want to really do better is have it to where you could sponsor a homeless person that way. They can go out and do the thing, and then you put the point on a map, and we could have, because at some point, you know, if enough people do this, that should be like carbon credit worthy or some sort of governmental influence. Like, look, man, we already have 100 or 500 people doing this. You know what I mean? Here's posted results all over the net, video testimonies, 100 people. This changed my life. Just doing the simple procedure changed my life. I can see the progress. I can only imagine this in 5 more generations. Or I went and started helping someone who did it 5 generations back, because there are wonderful gardens all over the world, you know what I mean, where you can go work with someone who knows what they're doing and help them do what they're already doing, even there, right? And then log that activity too into this thing, and then somehow how that should be able to, I don't know.
Yeah, that's a great idea. And even with the like logging the process, because so many people still, you know, you can tell them that, you know, oh, we're making these great results, and you know, we're improving the lives of these people, and it's like, okay, so,
or even these insects,
like, show me.
I improved the life of these insects. Look, they came in here. They're super happy, you know, but I also, just because that cultural flame can get lit, right?
Yeah. No, I know where most of the homeless, at least in my hometown, I know where they can get, you know, a bed, a meal, a shower. I know where they can do that, and we should like construct something. We should construct a plan, or like at the very least, like get like a pitch or something that we can bring to those institutions, that we can bring to.
Well, you're just making me think of
local
a new
government.
Because I've written this up a couple of times, but I didn't think about housing provider. If you make yourself a housing provider, and the only entry fee is that they do whatever 4 hours in the nursery or whatever, and you're administrating.
Yeah, I mean, if you can have, you know, even if it's just like a garden shed somewhere, you know, they have a roof over their head. You know, if you put like a cot or a camping bed or whatever, you know, they have a place they can go to. They have a place they can spend the night, and yeah, like all we ask in return is to, you know, take care of the land for a few hours a day. It doesn't have to be much, you know. We're not asking hard labor, you know. You're not in some, you know, we're not putting you in a chain gang or whatever.
Right.
You know, all we ask is, you know, in return is your productivity. You know, we give you something to do, we give you a place to stay. All we ask in return is that you maintain it, that you grow it.
And a lot of them, I think, will take that particular purpose and just become heroes.
Yeah, and you know, with the homeless especially, like they all band together anyway. If it's, you know, if it's in homeless camps, like, you know, the ones you have in the US a lot, or here in the Netherlands, you know, the places that you can spend the night for, you know, like, you know, €3 a night or something. That is where they meet each other. That is where they talk and exchange stories and whatever. And so if someone like already comes in there, yeah, man.
And I'm just seeing, I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm just seeing that I can also see, because the relationship with nature gives you karmic responsibility as well. Like you start to get that on your own, you know what I mean? Like it's a real hard for a naturalist to, I know I'm remembering one particular scenario. There were a few drug addicts out in a permaculture farm in Costa Rica. But I noticed that rather than the drug addicts in the streets, these drug addicts were very closet cased about what they were doing. They made very sure not to ever do it in front of I think there's people that might have given them a couple of licks for doing that too, though. But I mean, they were very karmically responsible in the sake that they knew little kids were around, other people learning nature were around, and they didn't want to put that kind of, they might contaminate themselves, but they didn't contaminate the pool, right? You know?
Yeah. Very, very conscious about it. A lot of them are very, very conscious of their situation, and they want to escape. They like, fucking nobody wants to be homeless. Nobody wants to, you know, walk on the street and beg for money so you can, you know, have a place you can spend the night, or, you know, get your next fix.
Which is why even do these government proposals, man, because honestly, they don't need to. We really can.
I think if we're gonna do that, we have to like maybe start a little smaller, like go to the like the housing providers. Like there are companies that will provide, you know, homes for the homeless, but it's just if you give them a home, okay, cool. Then you know they have a place, to stay, they have a place to sleep, but they still don't have a purpose.
Yeah,
and you know as well as I do, a man. We need a purpose.
Yeah, for
we
sure.
need something to do. We need something to work for, something to work towards. You know, otherwise we'll we'll go right back to the bottle or the needle or whatever.
Yeah, no, we're all going to be addicted to something. Idle hands, you don't want those. And
idle hands do the devil's work. Yeah, and it's true. You know, if you get bored, you start to do stupid stuff just to not be bored.
Yeah, no, this is a super mission that we all really need to get on as individuals and as governments and as, you know, nations and one worldly committees. And like I said, unfortunately, the one worldly one that we've got right now, I mean, it's just like reform, replace. I'm with Buckminster Phillips because I watch these people try to change the spokes of an already casted wheel, and that never happens. You know what I mean? So I love the idea of, so man, I wanted to ask you too, what was your pagan interest? Well, two questions. What's your pagan, what's the pagan thing? And then two, will you take my pagan challenge?
No, my interest really started with the martial culture and the honor culture that is attached to it. Like I guess you could say that I still have the old school values, which I hate calling it old school. You know, a man is only as good as his word, and you don't break your word, you don't break your promise.
My man.
And you know, train hard and take care of your wife, take care of your kids, take care of your family, your parents, like whoever. And now we call them traditional values or pagan values or whatever. That really goes hand in hand, but they should be regular, actual values. So that's really what it what it kicked off for me. And when I saw like how powerful and how mighty the gods were, and you know what they expect of you, you know, it is just to live a good life, to love deeply, to work hard, to be the man that you are supposed to be. And it's like, well, like I'm doing that already, but you know, these gods, they gave me a base, they gave me something to hold on to when I kind of lost my ways for a bit. You know, we all stray off the path every once in a while, but that's why I have the hammer around my neck always.
Yeah,
you know, Thor, the strongest of all the gods. That's why I keep training. That's why I go to the gym, why I train jujitsu, because I want to honor Thor in that way. It's why why I do the podcast, why I gather knowledge and spread knowledge and try to, attain wisdom and all, because that's how I try to honor Odin. It's
You gotta raise
why
goats.
I love my kids so deeply. It's why I love my wife so deeply, because I'm trying to, in that way, I want to honor Freya. It's why I fight for justice and against injustice, because I want to honor Tyr in that way. So, like, everything that I have already been doing, now I feel like I truly have a reason to do it. Why I and something,
Well,
like I said, something to hold on to. And as far as your pagan challenge, yes, I will absolutely take that challenge. I will look for something like a piece of, like, just gardening land, and slowly but surely start to build that up. I know my kids will absolutely love that.
oh yeah, dude.
They live up north in the country, so they are still surrounded a lot by, by those fields and by water and the wilder animals. It's still up north. It's still very, very wild, like very wild pieces are still there. That's where, a lot of the farming happens. So, they already love doing that. They, especially my boy, he's a real guy. He's a real boy. He loves to just dig and get dirty and all of that. And
Perfect.
my daughter, there's something that here in the Netherlands, every spring, or like with the coming of spring, it's from the like National Bird Protection Society, I think I can best call it, I believe like a close to 24-hour live stream of birds,
Wow.
a set of birds. So also you can watch them, lay their eggs and see the eggs hatch and the younglings grow up and eventually, fly the nest. And my daughter and her mom, they made it into a tradition to follow that and watch that closely every year. My kids are already very in tune with nature, so yeah, now it's up to their father, up to me to to be true to my values and do that for myself, for my community. To do that here as well. So yeah, I'm taking you up on that challenge. I will. I am. I am. Not I will. I am.
You will thank me, man. You will thank me too. You will thank me. No, I mean, really, I think it's a purpose. It's what we all need to be doing right now, world, And I think the cognitive and like the karmic and all plethora of the character that comes from getting out there, doing what you say, having a higher purpose, paying attention. Einstein says, pay attention to nature, you understand everything better. Oh, I could just pull it off. So many quotes from so many geniuses of our time. Just, you know what I mean? I think every single thing Nikola Tesla did was rooted in a study of nature, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, as well as Benjamin Franklin, right, and everything. So if we go back to those kinds of basics and we bypass these people with living the lies, all these crazy extremism lies everywhere that are just for control and all that kind of thing, and we don't repeat that ourselves. Number one, being deceiving someone. You know what I mean? I think the most honest encouragement we can really give is to have that natural tether and get that natural cognition. You know what I mean? It seems like a lot of the like psychiatric cases, are missing, right? I've noticed that, and I was dealing with that with the vets and everything like that too. Really, really kicks you back into gear. Lo and behold, natural thinking, time in nature. That's the right place. You know what I mean? And you start to have a better, righter situation.
Yeah. No, that's the true activism, to get a small garden, grow your own vegetables, have a couple of chickens maybe, over time, add a
Some
goat,
goat,
add,
some goats, because they pulled Thor's chariot.
yeah, yeah. Oh
Yeah,
shit!
yeah.
You're
And
coming with the pagan stuff, dude.
oh, dude, they're fucking. As a cultivator, I can tell you, they're telepathic. They're telepathic, dude.
I
Goats are
bet.
totally telepathic. That's why when I read they were his, out
Yeah,
of all
they
chariots,
pull. Yeah,
he has goats. I was like, oh, interesting.
yeah.
Telepathy is one hell of a strength if you can get.
Comes with it. I'm a Capricorn, so
Okay.
yeah.
Whoa.
So a lot of goats. So, but yeah, I mean that is the real activism. That is how you save the world. Like, you don't save the world by blocking the freeway and holding up banners like free this and that country or save these and these people. It's, I mean, yeah, you're getting all eyes on you, sure. What are you actually accomplishing?
Yeah.
Not a
As
whole lot.
far as highways goes, how come you guys aren't planting a fig tree every 20 feet along the side of the highway? Why is there not a fruit tree every 20 feet along the side of a highway? Can you tell me why are we not doing?
Dude, if I had the answer, I would give it to you. But then again, if I had the answer, I would have done something about it already. No,
They'll
but
cut them down. I bet you if you go do something about it, someone will come cut them down.
that does happen, which is so dumb. Like that,
At
it's
least
also
you're not
it started to become a administrative society as well, and just everything behind, like a whole bunch of legal red tape and documents and forms and signatures.
Or let's just be thankful we're not devils that own grocery stores, because they're not ignorant. They're not.
No.
You know what I mean? The cigarette company, they know what no one's at the top of a particular field, then that ignorance is 1000% a choice. Right.
Yeah. I mean, you don't get to the very top without a few skeletons in the closet or some dirt, if not blood, on your hands. Which is something the grocery stores. It's something that I wanted to mention earlier, but we got in such a flow. We have an app here in the Netherlands called Too Good to Go, which they do is they go out to the supermarkets and you can get a box of like bread or vegetables or fruit that is like too close to the expiration date to sell in stores, but as the name suggests, it's still too good to go. So they'll like put it all in a box. It's the expiration date is like, I don't know, 2 days from the selling date, and like for, I don't know, €5 you can get a box like this of vegetables or fruits or breads or just like different
cool
types of groceries. Like you can get, if you would pay full price in store, it would be, I think, often like 25 euros, but since it is so close to the expiration date, but we're trying to cut down on wastes, because that is what the whole initiative is for, to first and foremost try and cut down on waste. We'll just put everything in a box and sell it for €5, so we still make some money off of it, instead of just, literally throwing money away. So that is already a very good initiative, and it's grown exponentially over the years. And yeah, it's still supermarket stuff, so a lot of it is still very processed. But for people who live below means, if you will, people who have a little less to spend, and that could be the difference between I can eat for the next 2 days, or I don't eat. So I love that initiative already, and I believe that is it is a private initiative.
That's a really good idea. Yeah, on apps too. I was just being told about Yucca. I guess that shows you the toxicity of the product on the shelf,
Oh,
and I guess you maybe won't even able to scan the barcode. And then there's another one, iNaturalist and PlantNet, and both of those can help you identify the ecology that's around you and what it's been used for. Butterfly associate, bee associate, different kinds of things.
yeah. Yeah, and I mean, if we have the technology already, and like everyone has a phone in their pocket, and we're spending way too much time on it anyway, then we might as well start to develop tools for it so that we can still do those things, so that we can take better care of ourselves, take better care of our planet. We still live on this planet. I mean, yeah, everyone's looking to escape, whether it be to Mars or fucking somewhere else, and it's like, okay, I get it. It's also the adventure, and it's exciting and all of that. But how about like we pull back the focus and actually start taking care of our planet, and not through government
Yeah.
rules and regulations, because they don't help. Well, they don't help us, but then again, it's not designed
Just
to
as an
help us,
abstract, just
as you said.
yeah, just because you've thought about this quite a bit and you've got the pagan interest, and so just as an abstract thing, like what about like a video game or a saga, a video game / saga that actually had a storyline that said all the stupid things in the world ended and people survived, true rebels survived through a pagan world, natural relationship, you know what I mean? And what if you had like a pagan world app and a pagan world video game, and even a pagan world Bitcoin or crypto coin that they could get? It would do it. Or is that just too much? That's just too much, right?
Like a Viking crypto coin, and the logo is like one of those horned helmets. Just make it as stereotype as possible.
Because one more challenge, dude. I gotta get you to go check out this voodoobreaker.com. Because a couple friends during this all happened during the pandemic too, interestingly. So, but there's kind of an outlet like that that we were, because I was actually just talking. My friend took a video game making class, and he wasn't able to get that position, and so I was just talking, telling him, "Hey, what can we make a video game about this, and whatever, right?" And he built it. He took my voice out of you can download it and play it. He took my voice out of the WhatsApp messages and put them in the game. So
cool.
But I keep remembering but this is the perfect way to mention his stuff, because I'm sure it took some work to produce that game.
Yeah, I mean, creating a whole game, really? Oh, cool, man.
It's crazy. I mean, it was just a first person shooter. I think he skinned like existing game works or whatever, but at the same time, it's
you gotta start somewhere.
Yeah, totally. And I'm just like, how do you get because right now culture is into some freakish stuff, and then you see Diddy come on and say, we just this whole thing in the case now, this clip where we decide what you wear. I saw that when I went to Philly, when I got out of the military and went to Philadelphia. I was like, holy moly, what in the fuck? This can't be these people's actual culture around here. What is going on? And then you see this guy coming out. We decide what you dress. We decide what all this stuff. And I'm just like, oh wow, that's wild. And so if you can get people on those kinds of extremities culturally, then we should be able to get people to go onto nature culturally. Like, isn't that a freaky thing to say anyway? Like, we should, we're so far from the nature that it produced that we codepend on to breathe. However, maybe it didn't produce. It probably didn't produce us, but
no, but it's kind of demotivating as well sometimes when you see those videos online of like, so where do you think milk comes from? Well, from the supermarket. Yeah, true. That is usually where you buy it.
Yeah.
But where does it come from?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Where does it from the supermarket.
And that's it, right? It's a separation. It's a separation.
Yeah.
And that's why I was like, it's so crazy that they want to separate us even more, that the new rollouts in agriculture are just so freaking, we were a bio tribe. Our team, we have a team. If you go to nutritionaldiversity.com and you go down to retreats, you can see photos of us. We had a team. I had PhD students on this team, and we submitted a carbon answer to their Elon Musk actually has an organization called X Prize, where they did a competition for carbon capture, which is fucking ridiculous altogether.
Carbon capture, trees.
Yeah, or carbon reduction.
Trees.
It's called carbon conversation.
Trees, bushes.
Good.
That's
Carbon's great. You want as much carbon as you could possibly get. The problem is we're killing off our own population and we're killing off the animal population. We're not enhancing nature whatsoever based on our consumption. That's what's unsustainable. That's what's unharmonious. So if we could get back...
No, exactly. And we're so stuck in the mindset of, cutting things and deleting things and making things less. And it's like, we have to do all electric cars and do away with the diesels and the basic gasoline cars and whatever. And because of, I don't know, like carbon and this and that. And it's like, how about you just, first of all, stop cutting down all the fucking trees?
Yeah,
that's gonna save a whole lot. Or if you're not gonna,
I promise, once we endeavor into nature far enough, there's a tree-based fuel.
There is. I mean, hemp.
Probably.
You can make so much out of it. You can make rope out of it, clothes, bricks, even. So you can literally build houses out of hemp. The fuel, you can make fuel out of hemp, and it grows. I believe it's like it grows like 3 times faster than. Or like 5 times faster than wood, and you can harvest it, more over the year.
Our food too.
Yeah. Like hemp seeds. That's really really good for you. And
leaf, honestly, I do understand. Hemp probably is seed wise too perfect food as far as the fat protein ratio and everything. There's a lectin in a seed. Right? Seeds actually have an anti-nutrient in them that lets the bird or the raccoon crop them back out and that they continue to procreate. That lectin could be a digestive nullifier. I'm not a big bean and seed food guy. Some are good, and the food state of the seed is going to be necessary at some point. Maybe not, if you eat enough stems, but maybe could have a cleaning up an intestinal function as a solid state that doesn't digest as much. But for optimal performance and optimal production in nature, I'm saying plant seeds and don't eat them, right? But the leaf, just an interesting mention from a cultivator, right? But
You're right. And what you even mentioned at the very beginning, that the coffee bean, it is a seed. It is a pit.
Yeah.
I never thought of it that way. Like, I don't do seed oils of any kind or try to mitigate them as much I can in the, the food that I buy, but I do drink coffee on a daily basis, on a fairly, regular basis, which is still a seed. Like it's the pit from
it's a
fruit,
big money
so
culture.
it's a seed. Yeah,
that's two going against it. The same thing with corn. You know what I mean? Same thing with soy. Honestly, leave all of that alone. All those super big top 10 monocultures, leave them alone. Also, on a natural karmic basis where I'm no longer participating.
Probably process that into fuel, like a clean fuel. I know there are cars like that will, that will drive on any kind of oil, really. Even, what is it, like deep fried fat, if you, that's, so.
Yeah, no, absolutely. The investment, the research, the importance on natural chemistry, or natural research should be 1,000 times what it is, you know.
Yeah.
And I also think that it's that endeavor into nature that will cause humanity to lose its interest in things like war and things like uh,
Yeah.
modern cancer treatments. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
and just everything that's bad.
Yeah.
I think it's
No.
our separation from nature to just further make that point, because you could say it all day long and people will just be like, you know what I mean? Yeah, nature boy, whatever shit. But I mean, it's just not only is regression to, it's our separation from nature that all toxicity comes from.
Yeah, it's the lack of understanding through the separation. Indeed, you know, like milk comes out of a factory. No, it doesn't. You
Yeah.
know, meat is bad for you because of, you know, like how fatty it is and whatever. No, it's not. You know, and if you're vegan, then, you know, it's really good to drink soy milk, because for soy milk, like no animal has to die or be separated from its
That is a
mother.
lie.
Then
That
again, you
is
know,
the
if we
most
look at,
tragic to nature installation there is. That
oh
so
yeah,
many
like all
insects,
the like the
some
just the bugs and the little critters and birds and everything, like everything that is in those cornfields, just, you know, it gets mowed down quite literally. So
and
you know,
then animals can't
they've
live.
done research into that. So for your oats, you know, in your oat milk, and for your you know, for all those plant-based milks that you think is so good, per like, let's say per liter per square meter of field harvested, more animals died than for your regular cow
Yeah.
milk, goat milk, sheep milk.
Check it out, vegans, because you might be the most dedicated, right? You know,
Well,
passionate,
they're hardcore.
political. But like,
Yeah.
if you give a animal an enhanced ecology, it has the best life that it could possibly have. So, and an enhanced ecology is better than an unenhanced ecology. So it's better even being enhanced and having that human animal relation throughout the course of its life, and then, you know, killed away from its friends at that right time, saved from old age anyway. You know what I mean? You could do that to me, really, honestly. If I start really breaking up, I'll skip that. And but anyway, then that would be, honestly, if you think about it, the most animal favorite, you know. But I'm in the animals corner more than y'all now, you know. So at the end, I think maybe if the vegan movement switched to the ecologically responsible movement, which encompass love of animals as part of that ecological enhancement, and love of animals because they will be food, which means you give them a much better life, you know, and then you connect with the animal. And that's another, like, metaphysical thing that no human today goes through, is to love an animal and then to eat that animal. I mean, that's actually, I think, an important pagan aspect of, you know, being a human being.
Love and respect. And my wife is part Native American. I mean, she's white as a sheet, but when she puts in the braids, like, it's the cheekbones that you really see it with her. It's really interesting. A very European complexion until she puts her hair in braids, and it's like, holy shit, yeah, there is Native in you. But you know, so she's told me things about that. And isn't it also with the natives, like, if you're gonna kill an animal, then use every part of him?
Yeah.
And
nutritionally too, you want to do that.
Oh yeah, like, just the organs are so incredibly, you know, dense, like nutrient dense. And, you know, from the bone you can make jewelry or whatever. Like, I know that the guy who sponsors the podcast, he makes his own rune sets, and he actually crafts them from actual bone, and the bone he gets from I believe buddies of him who, who shot the animals, or, who have a natural way of getting that bone. And that is,
Wow.
like, that is true to our ancestral ways.
I want to set. I said I want to set.
You can absolutely buy them. I mean, the rune sets are on a bit of a back order, because he does it by hand, so it takes a lot of time. He is looking into getting some machines that will speed up the process. Shop, Reclaim, Repurpose is where you want to look. He is also, with one of his products, he also sponsors the podcast. But I have a whole segment that I edit in afterwards for the but yeah, those are absolutely amazing sets. And with the hides, like, you can make clothes out of it. You can, handbags or whatever, can use every part of the animal. And we really ought to start doing that again as well. Not just, if we're going to hunt, which is a very natural thing to do. We were once upon a time hunter-gatherers. It's how we survived. That's how we lived. It's the reason why you and I are able to talk to each other here right now. If it wasn't for our ancestors hunting and gathering, we quite literally would not be here. So it is a natural way of life. I don't care what I don't care what you say. I don't care what all those vegans and other people have to say who are ignorant as fuck. Anyways,
Yeah.
but like that's also the difference between, like, actual farming and factory farming.
And it's
Just,
the difference
have
between
them all lined up, and then, like, one by one, no feeling for, there's no love, there is no connection. It's just next poof.
It's also the difference between migrating or roaming and being stuck stationary as a slave. That's why I've even moved beyond agriculture altogether. Like, I don't want to be known as an agriculturalist, because that's not what I am. In fact, I'm on my way to learning as much as I possibly can, and then testing myself to be migratorial across large amounts of geography on a regular. I added Argentina to the mix this last year, so I'm hoping to tromp around, and I want to get worldwide too, but I'm hoping to really start doing exhibitions, I guess you'd call them. And I don't know if you know this, but I was actually living in nature full time for a long time already. But just in one areas, I wasn't able to add the roaming element, which really, honestly, when you look at the whole picture from way back, far from the wall, what I'm seeing is agriculture altogether is not what we want. We want to be hybrid hunter-gatherers once again to us.
Maybe not the main thing, like something that we can fall back on. Like, if that's
I don't even think
I've
that,
heard that
honestly.
I've heard that said before, that we got domesticated by grain.
Like the jungle juice I was telling you about. I mean, everyone everywhere should start doing that too, as a small business. That's Pagan challenge. That's the second part of the Pagan challenge. See if you can get a small business subsidizing people's diets on nutrition they've never even heard of before, that's right in front of their face. You know what I mean? That's actually fun. Once you start supplementing that into your diet, man, you're a more powerful creature. Just all the way around. And I'm figuring now, especially in the technological sense, if you can travel, if you can, hunt, if you can explore, if you can trap and get off the beaten path and be responsible about it, because there's a lot of people that just go out and are completely sportsmen or irresponsible, no connection to religion. It's a gradual thing, build the relationship with nature first and everything.
Yeah,
but,
of course.
If I could get
you
out
don't
and
just
do
leave
this
home one day and then be like, okay, I'm gonna, like, I have no preparation whatsoever. I'm just gonna roam. I mean, that's not gonna end well.
Or leave traps out and not go back and get them. You know what I mean? And shit like that. Or
Yeah.
just any little stupid, non-conscious thing. But anyone with a relationship with nature will not do anyway. That's what I mean. This is done in the correct form. I got a long way to go still, man. You know, I'm like 12 years in. But I want to be able to be a completely natural human being for entire months of time. You know what I mean? Out in nature and across large spreads of geography to the call to the, like you said, to be able to take from, I mean, it's a completely, you would have to divorce every other idea you have to go out and do that. I want to do, just as we're wrapping up, I just wanted to mention, I want to do the product thing like what you were talking about. You know, I want to develop a supplement product first using the existing manufacturing that exists for supplements now, and then double back and become a manufacturer and be able to just manufacture large-scale product like this, pull the large-scale lever, and then turn around and we do something like what we talked about with many small-scale installations. And now, if people, you know what I mean, that would become huge, right? If we were just doing what I was just said, like get the nature that's completely natural and get that into a supplement that people can use, which I'm already doing on small scale, but on big scale, it will be interesting to see how this works. But then I think at that point, I wonder if the human mind just says, why am I not just doing this on my own, as well? Because that will always be better, right? Well, I don't know.
I mean, we are still a herd.
Yeah.
Herd people, herd species. So, I think I know that if one of us, let's say, because, we are connected to the people who can actually make those things happen and will make those things happen, whether it be Gods on the Spectrum, Unchained Church, Greyhorn Pagans, fucking, I know so many people, so many groups, tribes, communities who want the same, who think the same. I think if we start doing that, people will follow, especially when they see the results. When they see like, hey, these are not just some, nature hippies or like, scammers like that. That's also the thing with supplements. As you know, a big fitness guy, supplements, that's a big fucking business. Every half decent influencer has his own supplement line or is sponsored by a supplement line. But like that's not about health. That's all about money. So if we can turn that around and like make it about health, but of course, make some money with it, which we can put into our other ventures, keep the money flowing in a circle, if you will, through our communities, through the businesses and projects that we are going to set up. And in that way, we have created our own economy.
I hope so. I love what you're having to say, man, and I can see that all happening. And dude, I'm doing this, man. I joined this Rob the Bank. There's a guy that made a 30. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't. Actually, explain.
Catchy title, right? He's on
Rob
Instagram.
The Bank, sure.
Rob the Bank, and this kid at 28 sold the Genius brand neurotropic supplements with the orange cap for 30. So he knows how to do this, manufacturing and everything. It was $5,000. Get into his program where you get all the secrets. So I'm not a heavy hitter by no means, right? So at this point financially,
not by conventional means, maybe, but that's if we're talking about money. If we're talking about knowledge, wisdom, experience, you're a fucking heavyweight hitter when it comes to that, man.
Thank you too much. Yeah, well, I definitely realized the power of standing on the shoulders of giants. And I think this kid is a giant. I mean, he is a genius in every right, dude. I mean, I'm so impressed with him. And I think he's a really good spirit as well. Yeah,
Yeah.
like that's why. Or I wouldn't give no, I'm really big on that, man. I can't support anyone. I've made the mistake before of supporting someone and then found out, oh man, they're running a Barnum and Bailey, suckers born every day kind of a thought process is going on in their head.
Oh.
And they're not really delivering value, and they're ripping people off, but they're talking this huge front end, and I don't want to be a part of supporting anybody like that. So hopefully, I don't think I am. Like, I mean, I'm so happy with this course already, man. It's so action packed and thick, and I just want to throw it out there because, I'm definitely coming up with some products I've already got. If you go to nddiet.com, sorry. I'll send you the link in the email after.
Yeah,
right?
just send me like just all the links, everything that
And-
you've been talking about, the links that you have. Like send them.
Good.
I'll make sure everything is in the description. Everything's represented
Super.
for sure.
But I mean, so I just, I'm a shotgun approach, just doing some experiments. Hey, if we're going to do this internet thing, let's do it. Right. So,
Yeah.
And then, but yeah, so I'm like, about 1 month in, and I mean, it's an action-packed program. He's got 10 heavy hitters on here, and the genius of a guy that he is, he's cherry-picking the heavy hitters that he sees coming into this class, and he's saying, here, I'll invest into your brand. So now he's on probably part owner of 20 brands with real passionate killers behind them.
And probably
Right, and
making more money than he ever did with his own supplement line.
All right. Because helping people, man, and, but yeah, so super excited about this. And I wanted to do a pre-workout, so I've been drinking all these different pre-workouts just to like get into the but now I'm starting to think.
That's why you're so hyped.
No, man, it's the nature. No pre-workouts.
I know.
Not yet, but right before the gym. But yeah, so now I'm thinking, because I've had the diverse greens is my thing. And I've been watching a couple videos, so we'll see where it goes. All of these different things are super expensive to launch in production and manufacturing. So I'll have to sell the car here in a minute and get some money from a friend and a few other things to make this happen. But I have every faith.
I mean, I have been like I am still, a smaller creator, of course, smaller in numbers. That is, in popularity and ideas and places that I want to take this. I am big already, but I have started to like sponsor at least like one other podcast, Semi-Skeptic podcast. Good lads, down to earth, couple of crazy Brits.
Semi-skeptic.
I gave them a personal discount code for my merch. Then with the money from the discount that goes off going to them. I mean, dude, I could do the same for you if you want to. Like sponsor you through my through my channel, through my tribe.
Oh yeah, bro. Would love it.
I'll create a I'll do that for you too. I'll create a personalized discount code, 10% off. I'll think of something. I'll do something like Angel or something. I kind of like that, Angel 10. I'll set it up.
Too.
I'll set it up, and then with the 10%, going to you, and you can promote it, you can share it, you can use it,
absolutely, dude,
whatever.
Too,
I'll do that for you. That's also like my part of trying to set up our own economy. Like I help you through this, and with that I get some some recognition and sales and whatever, through which I can help even more people. That's how I want to do it. So after recording, I'll set that up. I'll send it to you.
Yeah, well, we'll cross promote. I haven't even checked out your store yet, but me and my little morning burpee group are putting together a store also. That one's
Oh,
Epic
cool.
Dawn, or we do burpees in the morning. And we're going to have a store with some helpful products, I think, at some point that already exists. So maybe some of your or I don't know, but yeah, definitely. I love what you're
Dude,
saying
yeah,
about the
we'll set something up, man. We'll set something
Cool.
up. For the moment, it's still print on demand. I'll add some sporty stuff as well. Like I saw that new products were available, so I'll add some, like a duffel bag and a like a water bottle and everything. Yeah,
Cool.
I'll do that. Yeah, let's do that. You know, let's start doing these things. You know, it's awesome to talk about,
Yeah.
you know, and awesome to like brainstorm about what we want to do,
Yeah.
but let's actually start doing them. You know, it's 2025, or, you know, according to this timeline, this history, supposedly it's 2025.
Yeah.
You know, it's high time that we start doing things. And I'm turning 33 this year, 33, like master builder. So that's fucking
Jesus. The Jesus
Well,
age.
he was 33 too. Yeah, but I'm no Jesus, unfortunately.
You're a pagan.
Yeah,
Hey, cool.
yeah.
Rudolf Steiner has a pagan agriculture, but he mentions his Jesus over and over and over in it.
I mean, I always say that I do acknowledge the value of the teachings of Yeshua. His teachings are good. Like, it's, you know, and lines up very well with pagan values as well. It's just,
Totally, dude.
you know, I'm
It's all one truth,
European.
whatever you call it,
I'm
right?
Dutch. I feel more connected, of course, to the European gods, but I'm not the kind of pagan that like wants nothing to do with Christianity and all that. I mean, for crying out loud, one of my good friends and moderators on my Telegram channel is a Christian, and she's one of the good ones. She holds true to the actual teachings of Christ, and it's not like one of those Bible thumpers that, you know, everything is satanic and everything is evil, and if I don't like it, if I don't recognize it, it's satanic, it's evil, whatever. Like, she is a actual one, and that's, you know, there is a definite line in there.
Well, it's not just about knowing. You heard the man. It's about doing. So get out there and do your pagan challenge.
Yes, sir. Yes, let's all do it. It's really not that hard. It's a small stepping stone, you know. If he can do it, if I can do it, man, we all can do it. And I just realized I'm sort of quoting my late brother here. Unfortunately, lost him a few years ago, but he did a drag performance once, like in full drag with the hair and makeup and everything, as Miss Mountain Dew. And his slogan was, if I can do it, you can do it, we all can do it. So subconsciously I just quoted, well, Miss Mountain Dew or my brother. So, but it's true.
Definitely
It's
get out of
true.
the box.
Yeah.
Get out
No,
of that.
absolutely. It was so far outside of his comfort zone, but that's exactly why he did it. And that's how you grow. That's how you grow. You have to step outside that comfort zone. You know, you have to go outside, literally. Like, if you want to partake in this pagan challenge, like, sorry, you have to go outside. Like, you know, put down the video game controller, turn off the computer, go outside, and at the very least, I know it's a meme, but touch grass. It helps.
Yeah, I just saw George St. Pierre had a meme he posted recently. He said the worst addiction is comfort.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody's going to be addicted to something, man. I made it the gym in the forest.
I mean, if that's your addiction, that is the least worst addiction. I mean,
that's what I was thinking.
Exactly. Jeez, this has turned out into an almost 2-hour show, man. Like, this is
well,
that's how you know you're onto something good. Yeah, no, man, this has been great. We discussed so much, really, and
thank
a lot of good ideas, and we're going to make it happen. We're all going to make it happen for sure.
Hell yeah, man. And then you will thank me too, like on the challenge. I know we're gonna make it all happen, but on on the challenge thing, man, it's just like, it brings it all together. You just, the path illuminates as you walk it. You just don't really see the light now, but you I mean, you probably do, but I'm talking audience. People won't see the light of it. Like, it's a stupid waste of time. It will be the least, looking back on it, if you can get one day a week, it will be the least time wasted. Looking now, hindsight 2020. Get a couple, get 6 months in, and then look back and tell me all the things you thought were a waste of time. I promise that you're gonna think that was not a waste of time.
Exactly. And it's true generational wealth. It is truly something that you can help the next generations with through proper foods, proper agriculture, taking care of nature, taking care of yourself, taking care of your family. That is true generational wealth. Health is wealth, they say, and that's, yeah, it's true. Absolutely. So, bro, thank you so much. You mentioned your websites numerous times already, but where can the no problem, by the way, no, absolutely no problem. Where can the
these
people
are
find
projects,
you other than your
right?
websites?
These are all they're all growing, right? That's, it's a process. So, but BrandonAngelFitness.com is the hardcore fitness. NutritionalDiversity.com is the hardcore nature. Spirit tipping hardcore, most spirit tipping of any nature site on the internet. EpicDawn.org is the morning routine, right? At once, like all kinds of different ancient cultures, I'm pretty sure the pagans too would rise every day and give a grand thanks and maybe even a grand sacrifice, or we don't know, but we do it with burpees and a mastermind to get the gears going. And we're doing the little store there. And then ND Diet, which is nutritional abbreviation for Nutritional Diversity Diet. Hopefully those turn into supplements to where you can get that at least exotic elements that you wouldn't get otherwise, into the mix. And yeah, man, thank you again for letting me be here, and I can't wait to see how it goes with the thing. I'll be doing a few too, so we can exchange WhatsApp photos and stuff.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'll make sure that all the links are in the description down below. You gotta promote each other as well, promote each other's work
1000.
and all that. And from the sounds of it, you're doing some amazing work, man. It's
You too, man.
this you're setting up your generational wealth already, and yeah. So yeah,
bunch of
and
orphan generations. Hopefully I can do these greenhouses that people sleep in, and we get the kids that are in the Sicario pipeline right now to go do this better, right?
that is definitely one of the things that that we should do, that we should look into doing. If health is wealth, mental health, it's so incredibly important, but it all starts with very basic exercise and diet, proper exercise, proper diet, nutrition dense, healthy, no chemicals, or as very, very, very little chemicals. It's
no drugs.
no supplements, but no drugs. No way.
Exactly.
No, I've had my issues. I'm quite done with it. And for everything on the Greyhorn Pagans, tribe of the Greyhorn Pagans, go to our website, www.greyhornpagans.com. Don't forget to leave a like on the video, leave something nice in the comments, share this with everyone, because these are lessons, ideas that need to be shared around. Hey, all these ideas we've been thinking of so much that we want to do, and everyone watching, everyone listening, you are more than welcome to take one of those ideas and, absolutely fucking run with it. You don't even, we don't want any credit or whatever. All that we want is that you just do it to the best of your potential, make something of it. Follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter, have a look at our merchandise, check out our sponsor, Shop Reclaim Repurpose, and his Nefertafel set, Viking chests. Yeah, that should be about all. Again, www.greyhornpagans.com. If you're surfing the web anyway, go to all of his websites as well. Like, he has a fucking laundry list, so why not?
Motorbreaker.com. That was the other one.
That too. Yeah. Oh yeah, that was it. Yes. So yeah, we thank you all. It's been great. And until next time, everyone. See ya.
This was yet another amazing episode of the Greyhorn Pagans podcast. We thank you all for watching. We thank you all for listening. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you will be notified whenever we upload something new. Support us on Patreon for early access and for everything else that we do with the tribe, for everything else that we do with the podcast. Find us on www.greyhornpagans.com. For now, we thank you.